What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hill Homestead. So it is a very windy day here on the homestead, and it has been for the last 2 days. All types of weather moving in recently. Beginning of last week we had a lot of snow. Tuesday to middle of the week we had a lot of rain, and then now it is just wind on top of wind, and trees are falling down everywhere. We have limbs all over the place. But today, because of the wind, we are going to do a lot of work in the barn, or as much as we can. The biggest project being building a farrowing pen for our sow, Betty. She is due within the next 2 weeks or so with some piglets, hopefully. So aside from that, we need to get a weight on our slaughter hogs just to see where they're at. So we're going to teach you guys how to weigh your pigs without using a scale. And then because of the rain, there's a little bit of flooding down in the barn for the 7 pigs that we have down in the bottom. And we are going to use our resources to help out their bedding situation and make them a little bit more comfortable for the weather to come. So hang out with us today, and hope you guys enjoy this video. I went to the hardware store yesterday and I picked up a couple of 5-foot T-posts and some hog panels. I picked up two 16-foot hog panels. We had a 4-foot gate here on the farm already, and some 1x6 and some 4x4s. Those are what's going to anchor to the wall to keep the pen solid against the center block wall back there. The plan for it is that this side over here will be 8 feet long, and then this side over here will be 4 foot of hog paneling and then 4 foot of the gate. That way we can get her in and out easily whenever we do need to move her or the piglets. And then we will close in the front with the hog paneling as well. We're gonna use the T-posts on the outsides because if you know pigs, they will try to root their way out of just about anything. And it's better to have something solidified that they can root up against rather than having the hog panel on the outside of the T-posts and them breaking the hog panel off of the T-posts and loosening everything up, leading to them escaping. We will then, with the outlet right there, we plan to board off a side in the corner so the piglets can go underneath, and have a heat lamp drop down in for an extra heated area for the piglets. Because she is farrowing in January, we wanted her to be inside of this barn for a little bit extra warmth, as well as the electric for the piglets, and so that we could keep them out of the weather and keep a better eye on them. So this is what we're gonna start with first. This is the priority project for the day. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll kind of talk through what we did throughout the project. What I'm doing with these 2 boards right here is I went ahead and screwed them in to kind of make myself a straight line. The backs are exactly 92 3/4 inches, as well as running along the front here. I'm just kind of using those as a guideline for my T-posts. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get the T-post driver and we're gonna drive them into the ground to set those, and then we will take these boards out and replace them with the hog paneling. Something that we really haven't talked about a whole lot here in these videos is exactly how hard our ground is. So this property is basically a shale pit. So over the years, Desiree's dad, when he did a garden, it took him many years to soften up that ground down there to make it a really nice garden area. But the rest of the property, for the most part, is hard as a rock. And inside of this barn especially, it's very difficult to drive any type of T-posts into the ground. So what we've decided to do is I got as many T-posts in the ground as possible, ended up moving the gate area to the front. So this corner right here is the only one that I could not get a T-post in. And to be honest with you, the other ones are not in very deep. But I think they are solid enough to work as long as she has her piglets in the same area and they don't get out. So I don't think she'll root up on them very much. But we have decided, we found a railroad tie here on the farm that we are going to connect that corner with, and we took the 2x4 that we originally had and really pushed it against the hog panel and kind of solidified it to our anchor boards against the wall. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and cut this to length, roughly 8 feet, and we're gonna get the sides put up and solidified, and then we're going to tie in the front, and we're going to see where exactly we're going to make the corner for the piglets. I definitely want it to be a solid area so that they don't get out, but I also need Betty's area to be solid so she does not root out or bust the fence apart and is roaming around the property. So we're gonna finish getting this put together. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the panels, and we'll see how the finished product looks. As you can see, we got a pretty good start here on the panels. Thank you, Major. We got them cut to size, and I used old bent up tomato cages that we had here on the property from previous gardens, and I just used those and cut them rather than digging through and finding electric wire. They seem pretty solid, and I twisted the tops and bottoms from the T-posts onto the hog panels to solidify them. And now to go just an extra step, just for precautionary reasons, I'm going to take these fence staples and I'm going to staple the hog panels into the bottom boards here, as well as the railroad tie, and kind of tie everything together, and then anchor in the hog panel to the anchors back there using the staples as well. All right, so I just finished putting the staples in and wiring up the gate. So we'll take kind of a walk through. This is the only part of the pen that I'm questioning as far as the gate swinging out, but we wanted to give her a guide lane to kind of get in and out when we transport her. But as you can see, everything is on the insides of the T-posts. So that way she can push all she wants, but she will not pop this off of the T-post and be able to exit this way. I stapled the hog panel into the 2x4, as well as up the sides of the anchor boards. So it is a very solid fence, and that's the same for this side. Now this was the only other part of my concern, but turned out to be fairly steady and strong as far as the corner goes. I think tying the railroad tie into the 2x4 will help quite a bit in solidifying that. And then this I left just kind of to prevent her from rooting up underneath of the pen. We'll fill that in with bedding all the way around, so they have a nice warm place to lay. And then we will use this plug-in as the heat lamp source for energy, and we will find the area in which the piglets will lay to hang that heat lamp.
Okay everybody, so while Austin's still working on the Farrowing pen, I thought I'd come and show you guys Betty here. Here's Betty. Here comes Dino to check out what we're talking about. So I thought it would be good to give you guys some pig facts about how we know that Betty is going to be having piglets soon. Dino would move his head. So if you can see on Betty's belly there, you see her teats are starting to come in. They're starting to point down towards the ground there. You can actually see some of her front ones there are starting to actually puff up a little bit too. You can see that they're starting to fill in with milk here. Oh, Betty. She's hangry. So you can also see her belly starting to drop a little bit. Okay, you can see her piece a little better. So Betty's already had one litter of piglets, like I think we've told you guys that. So she's already had one set. She did amazing. She actually birthed them all unassisted. So that was pretty awesome for her first time. By our calculations, in just about exactly 2 weeks, she would be having piglets. So that's why it's important we get her moved up where there's a heat source for her piglets, as they don't do well at managing their own body temperature. With it being cold like this too, they'll want to go to her to share her body heat for to keep warm, and that's how it's easy for them to get laid on, because as they snuggle up close to her, one wrong roll and she can lay on top of them. So it's important that if we give them a heat lamp or a heat source, that they'll go to the heat and won't lay right up underneath of her. In case she rolls over, she won't roll over on top of them. So let's get these guys fed before they get any angrier. So it's easy for all the girls to get all the attention around here because that's who's having babies, but Dino has been an absolutely amazing boar for us. He is real sweet. He's also had actually 2 successful litters. A family friend of ours brought their pig over, and so he's had a litter with her as well. So Betty was pregnant with 8 piglets last time, and her sow was pregnant with 9. So he's had 2 very successful litters. He's an awesome guy. I know some people, some of their boars can be mean and hateful, and it's important to respect him because of his size, but He's a gentle giant, and that's what we like to keep around here on the homestead. Nothing too crazy, everything easy to manage and work with.
Now that Des has talked to you guys about how you could really tell you know, the beginning signs that a pig or sow or gilt is ready or getting close to being ready to having her piglets, we're now going to go into how we guesstimate the weight of these pigs, and there is a particular measurement that goes into this. What we will be using to measure these guys is this tape measure right here, and the reason we're using this one is because it's very flimsy. You don't want to use a regular tape measure, nor would you want to use a ruler in this situation. So what we will do first is measure the heart girth of these pigs, and when the heart girth is just behind their front two legs, their chest area, you want to measure that first, and you will multiply. So say we get 50 inches heart girth, so you will take that number, that 50, and multiply it by itself. So 50 times 50 would be 2,500. So then what you want to do is you want to measure the length of the pig, so from behind the ears to the tail. Okay, so, and then you take that 2,500, you multiply it by whatever the length of the pig is in inches. You take that number and you divide it by 400, and that should give you an accurate estimate on how much your pig weighs. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and measure these guys as best as we can, and we'll tell you what the estimate on our pigs are.
I had it.
Yeah, they're both about 3'9".
I would say that's accurate. I think he's a little thicker here, though. I think he's thicker here.
So we did get a rough estimate as far as the length from ear to tail on these guys, and it's about, whoa, 3'9". And Bowser's making it extremely difficult to do anything. And if we could get the heart girth of one of them, they are brothers, so they're going to be fairly similar in size. Not 4'8". No way. I gotta remeasure that. Oh my gosh. He is 4'1", 4'1" by 3'8".
Okay, 4'1" by 3'8". 4'1" was the girth. So it's
Yes,
49.
All right, so with many efforts, we have finally decided that we're just going to base it off of Bowser, because they are all fairly close in size. If you look in there, and what did we say? It was 4'1" was the girth?
Yes.
So the heart girth of Bowser was 4'1", so that's 49 inches, right? Yes. Okay, so 49 times 49. Bowser, would you please stop? Okay, I gotta get out of here. Okay, so we just now got out of the pig pen. Hopefully we were able to capture some of that. The true heart girth of Bowser, once he settled in with us in there a little bit, he's still being kind of crazy, was 4'1". So in turn, that is 49 inches. So what we're gonna do is do 49 times 49, and then that equals 2,401. And we're gonna multiply that by, what'd you say, the 3'8"? Is that what it was? You don't remember, do you?
Yes, it's 3'8".
3'8", okay. And 3'8" would be 36 plus 8 would be 44. So we're gonna do 2,401 times 44 inches. That comes out to 105,644. And what we're gonna do is take this number and we're gonna divide it by 400. That gives us 264 pounds. So that's the rough estimate, which tells me they are probably about a month to a month and a half out from a good butcher date. Because again, they are all around the same size, and a good butcher size for these guys would be anywhere from 270 pounds to about 300, 320 pounds. So every bit of a month will do these guys some justice and get them to a solid butcher weight and produce someone a lot of pork for the remainder of the year, depending on the size of the family. I wish we would have done this earlier because the cows were not in here, but I was really focused on getting that pig farrowing pen done. But what we're gonna do is, I've got the grapple hooked up to the bad boy tractor, and they've got a lot of wasted hay in here, something they've just kind of been bedding down on. Once the hay rack gets real low, they'll flip the hay rack up and just kind of rub and spread all that stuff out. So there's a lot of good hay in here. So what I'm gonna do is bring the grapple in, grab a bunch of the hay off the top, and I'm gonna take it down to the barn, and I'm going to spread, or Des and myself are going to spread the hay in their very flooded barn area from all the rain that we've gotten recently. So this is what I was talking about earlier. The rain, it rained so much that it started coming in through this door as well as through this door, and has made this a complete mud pie as well. So we're going to take this hay and we're going to kind of fill it in here to kind of soak this stuff up. And if we have to, we're going to go get some more. And then worst case scenario, we'll throw wood chips on top of that to really absorb and keep this dry. All right, so they're checking it out, but I believe that's going to be enough for tonight just to soak up everything. Then with the wind that we've been having, it should dry it out pretty good. Then we can add some more wood chips to it later. This creep feeder is something else that I wanted to talk about. This is actually made for goats and cows, or calves, but we decided to try it out for the pigs, and they are at a pretty good height right now to where they can get in here and eat this feed. So what we've been doing is dumping about 100 pounds of feed in here at a time. It keeps it up off the ground, eliminates the waste of it, and they are, like I say, just tall enough to put their hooves up into it and eat everything out of here. I do come and check it still and push any feed down that did not fall, but this has really done a good job at eliminating the waste and keeping them full. All right. For the first time, I think, in one of these videos, we actually accomplished just about everything that I wanted to accomplish for the video. We got this pen done. We talked about how we are measuring our pigs, and we got some new bedding into the pig pen. Again, that is not permanent. That is only temporary bedding, just to kind of soak up some of that water, some of that mud. But I think that's going to do it for this video. I've pretty much lost daylight, and I'm using barn lights for this outro, but I would call it a successful day overall. We got a lot done. There's minimal work left to do on this, just mainly separating the pen for the piglets to find a spot to lay with a heat lamp, and that'll be it. In next week's video, though, I'm pretty excited for that. I do think we are going to plan to move Betty into this pen, and Desiree has started her hand in making bread and pasta and things of that nature. So she is actually going to do some videoing herself. She made her first loaf of bread last night, and it turned out amazing. She's a natural, but I'm excited for you guys to watch stuff like that. Maybe that's a different side of the homesteading part that you are used to, and maybe you can learn something from Des as well on the cooking aspect. But like I say, I think that's going to button this video up for today. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Hopefully you guys learned something. Maybe learn some tips and tricks on how to build a farrowing area for your pigs. Like I say, I will do the rest of this video next week to finish this off, or when she is ready to lay down and have her piglets. And like I say, expect to see many food making videos here in the near future. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. If you have not already, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. And we look forward to hanging out with you guys in the future. And if you have somebody you know that is getting into homesteading and or pigs that we might be able to help out, you know, shoot them a video link and let them know that we are here to help them. And if there's something else that you guys would like to know about pigs that we might be able to help you out with, or any type of homesteading, then, you know, shoot us a message, shoot us a comment, let us know. We'd really like to, you know, learn ourselves, but help anybody else out that might need any help at all, and we are able to help. So again, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.